Well, it's cold in Oxford and we're all locked down, so my opportunity for test riding the AJP PR7 2020 version has been put away, shelved really for a couple of months at the very least. So I was thinking, what kind of other things could I talk about? Well, there's a couple of things that have crossed my mind over the years as a biker, and it's that old Marmite question: tent or room? Do you pack up your bike loaded with luggage and panniers and tents and sleeping bags and roll mats and cooking equipment, or do you just ride with a little backpack, tool pack, and a credit card and book a room? Which works best for you? People have different views. I guess it depends whether you're going as a group or whether you're going on your own, what kind of riding you're going to be doing. Um, I definitely have a preference for a room. In the old days, when I used to go camping in the late '60s, early '70s on a bike, camping for me was an old army canvas tent and a sleeping bag, and you had a tin of beans with sausages in it and a brew up or a beer. That's pretty well what you took. And camping was, you know, down a little side road somewhere, by a river, in a wood. That's what camping was. And a little while back, I got thinking because I met some people and they said, we're going off wild camping. And I said, what's wild camping? I've never heard of that. Is that something really interesting? And it turns out, actually, it's just what we used to do when we were younger. It was camping. Nowadays, it's called wild camping because a lot of folk they camp on campsites, which is a very different thing altogether and has a very different feel. Um, so I wanted to just bring up a Marmite question, just nothing other than for people to have to think about. And I wanted just to run by one scenario that did cross my mind about 5 years back. I was in Morocco and I'd flown over on a Ryanair flight, cost me £85, return trip. I'd hired a little Honda CRF 250L trail bike, which was costing me about £62 a day to rent. I'd taken 11 days off. I was allowing a day there and a day back on the flight and a little bit of recovery time, and then 7, 8 days riding in the outback. And that worked out really well. By the time I paid for my airfare, picked up the motorcycle, I'd flown over with all my gear in a travel bag and I dumped that at the hire centre. So I had my own helmet, my own armour and boots and what have you. So all I had to carry really was some trainers, some underwear, a couple of t-shirts, credit card, water bottle. Pretty well, that was it, my tool pack. Um, and that overall trip, 85 pounds for the flight, 460 for the bike hire, and about 10, 11 pounds a day with breakfast for rooms, and that was pretty good. Now I happened to meet some guys on two guys, in fact, on GS 1200s, and they'd ridden all the way down from Liverpool. That's a long old journey, and they got 2 weeks holiday. Actually, no, I think it was 12 days holiday. So by the time they'd ridden down from Liverpool, got on the ferry, that was £600 return, driven all the way down there using a lot of fuel, then the boat across to Morocco, and then the drive down to Marrakesh and across the Atlas Mountains. They spent a lot of money, um, pretty well worn out their tyres, and really their aim had been to get to Morocco to have some fun riding off piste. But by the time they got there, the tyres were worn out, and they realised with all their camping gear on that they couldn't really do anything off piste. The sand, the dirt, some of the tricky roads that they wanted to go on, they just couldn't do with the amount of weight they carted with them. And the funny thing is, they were looking at my little CRF 250 with a rucksack on the back, thinking, well, yeah, maybe that was the way to go. So I just thought I'd throw that up as an interesting presentation, really, as there are different ways of travelling. I've just come back from South America, where it was all rooms. I was in India the year before last, up in the Himalayas. That was mostly rooms. We had one night camping in tents, which we hired. But very often the cost of rooms abroad is pretty cheap, especially if there's one or two of you sharing a room. It could be down to £6 or £7 a night, which really isn't much. But what that does, it allows you to have a lightweight bike with nothing virtually on the back, so you can do the off-road stuff, have fun, push yourself and the bike, and not worry about having all this gear around, which can overburden you and the bike and actually stop you doing some quite cool and fun stuff. So as I got older, the idea of actually putting a tent up, getting up in the morning, pulling the tent down, especially if it's been raining, getting some breakfast, packing everything away, becomes a real pain in the neck, to be honest. Whereas a room, you get up, breakfast made, on your bike, off you go. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. The next Marmite video I thought I might do is tool pack. What are you carrying in your tool bag? That'll wait for the next one. Okay, bye for now, and hope you're all managing to isolate yourselves and not drive each other mad. All right, bye for now.